Love can be an amazing thing. It can make you happy, it can make you into a better person, and it can make you see the world in a new light. And it can turn you into a stalker that sends thousands of emails to someone, watch someone in their sleep without their knowledge, burn someone's car down, or stab someone multiple times. And with the internet and social media being a massive presence in people's lives, well, stalking isn't going away anytime soon. And it's really bad for content creators like Amaranth, who has this one stalker from Estonia who sold everything he owned just to move to Houston, Texas to be close to her. He was camping close to a Starbucks by her P.O. box for over a month. And then he would even send her these strange videos of him dancing. But then he tried to break into her hotel, and luckily he was arrested. He also live streamed himself stalking her for the 44 days. Like, how do you live stream yourself basically committing a crime? Don't answer that. After all that, she had to get a restraining order against him. But then he kept stalking her, and he tried to break into another hotel she was at. He was arrested again. But then last year, during a podcast, Amaranth revealed that this guy who's now living in Florida keeps sending her messages still. And let's not forget the guy who set a streamer's car on fire after finding out where she lived, all because she had a boyfriend. And he felt betrayed because he gifted her so much money, $2,000 worth apparently.
Ooh, that's kind of small.
He should have donated more money, I'm just saying. And he did get arrested because he decided to take a nap close to the crime scene, and she wasn't even home. So at least she never met the guy who was stalking her. But the same can't be said for Donnie from Baby Reindeer. So Donnie met his would-be stalker Martha at a bar that he worked at, and he gave her a drink on the house because he felt sorry for her, since it looked like she was having a pretty bad day. But he didn't realize that this was a big mistake, because she started to show up at the bar every single day when he worked. And she somehow found his email and started to email him hundreds of emails every single day, totaling 41,000 emails at the end of it all. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, no one was safe around this guy, because she found his Facebook and then started to harass his ex-girlfriend, and then later on started to harass his parents. Then one day, she came into his house pretending to be someone else, and when he told her to stop, she sat at the bus stop right outside his house waiting for him. And she even attacked the girl that he was dating at the time, and she pulled off some of her hair from her scalp. She even groped him at one point. And this is based on a true story, but we don't know how much of it is true. And the original person even went on the Piers Morgan show after the show aired to try to defend herself. But well, that didn't really go great, because let's just say that she convinced people that she probably did quite a few of these things. And yes, Donnie also did enable her quite a bit and led her on and ignored all the danger signs. But that doesn't excuse what she did. But this next stalker was not led on at all. And to make it worse, he stalked someone for up to 10 years of her life. Okay, so this is Kikihime, who is from Austria and went to Japan and became part of a Japanese idol group back in 2015. And now this guy Ray met her at one of the meet and greets that idols do in Japan. And he fell in love with her. He even had plans of marrying her. And I haven't even mentioned the worst part. He met her when she was 16. He fell in love and wanted to marry a 16-year-old.
What?
But she left Japan to go back home. And while at home, she started doing cosplaying, and she still did some singing. And she gained a following from that. Then 2 years later, she returned to Japan to go to Comic-Con. Think of Comic-Con and Anime Expo. And Ray was waiting for her at the airport after she met a few of her fans and started to follow her around the airport after she noticed him. But she went to the police and they separated them. Then another 2 years after this incident, Kikihime went to Tokyo Game Show for cosplaying. And at the show, he tried to kiss her. Like, this guy is a full-on psycho. But luckily, she kicked him away in time, and this left him stun-locked because he actually thought that she would kiss him back. So he left after this because he was heartbroken or something. But he didn't take the hint, because in 2024, when Kikihime went back to Japan for another Comic-Con, he decided to try again. So he lunged at her and grabbed her. And I know this picture is disturbing already, but is it just me or is this dude smiling?
What the fuck?
Kikihimo started screaming, and luckily people separated them and he was kicked out, and she tried to report him to the police, but they just told her to go to the embassy to file a report there so that if this were to happen again, they could then arrest him. They just told her to basically put herself in danger. Like, the logic behind that is crazy. And that logic gets even crazier when you realize that another stalker had almost killed a singer by stabbing her 61 times after stalking her back in 2016. You heard that right, 61 times. The psychopath who did this is Tomohiro Iwazaki, who before the stabbing already had a long history of stalking. Like guys, this dude has been stalking people since like the early 2000s, and the police knew about him and did nothing. And he found his next target, Mayu Tomita, who was an indie singer. He stalked her for a year, giving her weird gifts like corn mags and talking about how much he loved her. Are you starting to see a pattern here? And also, who gives corn mags as a gift to show how much you love them? Later on, he tried to propose to her, but she obviously said no. But she made the mistake of giving him her Twitter so that he could follow her. So he started stalking her on Twitter, along with another idol who was Mayu's friend. But Mayu didn't respond to any of his tweets. And then the other idol he was following blocked him as well. And he blamed Mayu. So he started sending her hundreds of tweets. And some of these tweets were, well, yeah. Then he called her ungrateful, and she just sent back all the stuff that he gave her. But this made him even more upset. And this was the main catalyst for what made him do what he ultimately did. But luckily, Mayu survived. Even though she has some complications, she is still alive. And Tomohiro was arrested. But get this, he was only sent to jail for 14 years. He even smiled at some point during the trial, and they still only gave him 14 years. And Mayu did tell the police about him before the incident happened, but they did nothing. And before we carry on, if you're liking the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway, this whole thing kind of got me thinking, would you rather know that you're being stalked, or would you rather not know that someone has been stalking you for multiple years? Always watching you from afar, every single day, hoping that one day you will notice them, like acrobatic Silky did in Dandadan, when she stalked Aira Shirotori for up to 10 years. And yes, I know that she's a ghost, but still. And even though this is an anime, I'm convinced that there's a group of people that can match this type of energy and even surpass it by far. Introducing the K-pop stans, or part of the K-pop fans known as the Saosings, that take stalking to a whole new level. Like the fans of this old K-pop group called TVXQ, that at one point had 150 taxis following them everywhere they went that were full of fans. Like, these taxi drivers must have been living large with the bag that they were getting from all this. It got so bad that one of the members, this guy, dragged a fan out of a taxi. And this whole thing made this exact same guy scared of taxis and girls in school uniforms. Then we also have this other K-pop fan who has an entire YouTube channel dedicated to this one K-pop star called Nayeon that he has been stalking since 2019. Like, my guy, what are you doing with your life? And of course, he believes their love is being held back by the company Nayeon works at, and that they are destined to be together because they're in love. And yes, this whole thing loops back to the acrobatic Silky thing, because think about it. If the fans can be this crazy in public, I wouldn't be surprised if there were other fans that stalked these people without them knowing for years. Knowing every single detail about these people. Like, if they had a poop-shaped birthmark on their left butt cheek just above their ass crack, they would know. Hell, I've known people, usually girls for some reason, who have said that they just stalk people that they like on social media for fun. But at least none of these people have ever eaten the person that they're stalking, that we know of. And the video about stalkers can't be complete without mentioning the most popular stalker of the late 2000s, Edward Cullen from the Twilight movies. This dude would literally watch Bella in her room while she slept without her knowing. And teenage girls all over the world were so down bad for him. They thought it was romantic. And again, I know what you're thinking, but this is a movie, and that doesn't happen in real life. So let's go back to South Korea, where one crazy stalker snuck into a sauna where an artist named Jae-jong was in, watched him sleep, then took photos of the artist, shared them online, then apparently kissed the artist. Then we get Judy Huang, who's so infamous that both the fans and the artists know who she is. And the band that she likes to follow around is NCT. And she's apparently a rich stalker too, so she can get access to things that most people won't. Like how she knew when they were going to arrive at the airport in America before it even went public back in 2019. But the biggest thing everyone knows her for was when she got into the room of this band and just recorded the things that they had there. And she claimed that she got the key card from one of the band members, but
stop the cap.
no one believed her. So the lesson of the video is, don't talk to people, don't leave your house, and don't be famous. And that there are some really crazy people out there in the world. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.